Welcome, guys, to another episode of The Boys on the Mic. Today, we're going to discuss about the state of play, the games that stood out to us, the games that we want to play, and the games that we don't want to play. This is Causa, and joining my co-hosts Rexy and Nowakas. Run it!
Welcome to The Boys on the Mic, the one-stop audio and video experience where the worlds of gaming and technology collide. I'm Nowakas, and I'm thrilled to be here with the dynamic duo, Causa and Rex. How's it going, guys?
Hey Nowakas! Hey listeners! Causa here. We're pumped to bring you another episode filled with the latest and the greatest in gaming and tech. No matter what kind of gamer you are or how tech savvy you might be, we got something just for you.
That's right, Rexy here, and we're stoked to have you join us. Whether you're a long-time listener or just discovering the podcast, you're in for a treat. We dive deep into all things gaming and tech, bringing you the news, reviews, and experiences from around the digital world.
And don't forget, if you love the vibe, hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It helps more gamers and tech enthusiasts like you find our show. Follow us on Tech Trio Tales to stay in the loop and become part of our growing community.
Got a topic you want us to cover? Or you just want to share your latest gaming victory? Reach out to us on our socials or in the comment section. We love hearing from our listeners.
Alright team, gear up because it's time to jump into another epic episode. Let's revive, respawn, power up, and go!
Welcome, boys! How are we going today?
Good.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw that the state of play coming up on my Instagram. I said to myself, "Ooh, we got a topic for this week."
Wondering about the state of play is that it gets announced and then released very quickly, but it seems like it's not the same time every year. Like you can't look forward to a certain date, right?
Yeah, it's not always on the same date. It's not always on the same month. It's like unexpected and comes out of nowhere. Like I think from what I remember, it's always on January. Like they do they kick off the year, but you don't know when.
Surprise!
Just because I'm a recent PlayStation player, this is my first time of me actually watching State of Play. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool that they did something like this.
Yeah, you're part of the cult now.
You're getting educated. All right, guys. Well, first of all, we can jump into the games, the ones that stood out to us and the ones that we thought were really good. Kicking it off to begin, Helldivers 2. I'll just give a quick summary of the game. So this is the sequel to the first Helldivers. The original one was a top-down shooter, and it's waves of monsters, aliens, whatever they are, and you have to survive and kill them. What do you guys think about it?
Well, I haven't played the first game to start with. Like I haven't seen much of the game, but this time I was kind of impressed by the co-op option, just because of the fact that we've been talking about this even in previous episodes about cloud platform games and how is this gonna become a new trend. And I'm excited just for the fact that you can play that co-op. And I see just myself trying it, and even I see the price, and they're selling it, I think, less than 70 USD, which is like unlike for new games. I don't know why, but I'm down.
I got a theory. I think it's because the gameplay loop is a little bit repetitive. So
grindy.
Yeah, it's one of those grinding games. But I believe, like you said, Causa, the fun is playing with your friends. You kind of have a simple objective, but the way that you get to that objective and play it with your friends is where the fun is.
Yeah, and having the more social aspect and just going through the galaxy with your mates and kicking ass and killing aliens. I think that's definitely what I was excited for. And like it was so badass how they dropped in, like it was sort of reminded me of like Halo, how they just drop through and just land, and they're like shooting out of the spaceship.
Appreciated about the trailer is that it didn't really take itself too seriously. It was pretty funny, and it had a very casual sort of vibe. And I think maybe was deliberately done to show how the game is meant to be played as well. You know, a bit casual, but with fast-paced action.
Yeah. Even the gameplay that they showcase, I don't think in this state of play on the previous one, it was more like they show how they're actually playing in game. Like they were showing like different perspectives from player to player. So that was kind of like showing you how you're gonna play it. Where normally there's a lot of cinematics and it's not the real gameplay. And like but you're not seeing what you're gonna do.
Yeah, the gameplay was awesome, man. I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, like if it comes down at some point on PS Plus, I'll probably download it straight away just to test it.
I think that it's pretty likely that this one will make an appearance on PS Plus, but probably like a year or two from now. The next game that we liked on the showcase was Stellar Blade. Now, this game is where you get to play the protagonist Eve in a post-apocalyptic Earth to defeat an enemy called, I hope I pronounced this right, Naytiba, and they're an alien race. It's got a very, I'm not sure what sort of like
combination of styles, I guess, like
kind of a little bit of anime as well in it as well. You can see like the different cyborgs, character design. It's actually really beautifully done. And you go through this world with your companions. There's your companion Eve, so like Adam and Eve play on the biblical characters in this new world, and basically you have to save humanity by fighting off alien enemies.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about this game?
The style reminds me of Bayonetta. I don't know if you guys played that game before. It's a game like of this female character that defeats like demons, and that she uses like these sort of shotguns, not shotguns, but kind of like two pistols, dual pistol, and yeah, she's a badass. Like, and I think they done kind of similar here, but they use anime style this time. So
yeah,
I feel like the gameplay itself, it looks fun. It seems like you're fighting big guys, also small guys. So there's a bit of variety on enemies, which is sometimes when you say like Helldivers, you see you're killing the same aliens for hours, whereas this one seems like there's some progress on the main story. So I guess there's a lot of focus on progression and a storyline.
Yeah, very linear. And some of the topics that they touch as well are like a little bit deeper. So they have the toll of war, soldiers dealing with trauma, questioning their orders in the chain of command, and what are the true motives of the leadership in the war. So there are definitely some interesting and probably deeper topics in the game as well.
Just the whole story behind it as well, where humanity was forced out of Earth and they had to move, and then there were still some like remnants. And I thought that it was cool that they had like sort of those. Was it an underground settlements in that, and just gives that post-apocalyptic vibe, and the humans had to sort of mutate or adapt to what they were doing, and you could see a lot of like, I think it was like biomechanics or stuff on like different characters that I thought was really cool, and sort of gave it that cool like reference, like, damn, these guys are still here and surviving.
Really the underdogs.
Reference to Eve, like she was like some sort of messiah, because what did they call her? An angel. So they were probably viewed upon as like a savior to come and save them from this world that they're in. Because the aliens, what was their name? Naytiba.
Yeah. If you think about it, like there's so many content, like games, TV shows about post-apocalyptic, but still they find a way, like these kind of ideas that come out of nowhere. Yeah, they're still cool. Like I think everyone uses it for any sort of reasons, but you have to find your own way. Yes, like if you mentioned The Last of Us, like it's a classic post-apocalyptic that you could say, Walking Dead, it's kind of the same, but they have their own style, their own narrative that makes it different. And I think that's why the Stellar Blade might have a big audience that wants to play that game. So
to mention as well, with the anime style, the character design is extremely anime biased in terms of the type of clothing that they're wearing and things like that. So I think it's going to appeal to a lot of anime fans out there for the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited for that game as well, and I look forward to seeing.
The list is Dave the Diver. It's coming to PlayStation. This game has been on PC for a while now. I'm not sure if it's a couple of years, but I do remember seeing it on Steam when it first came out. It's basically a diver who is going out and fishing, but he's completing quests, and randomly also he's managing a sushi restaurant on the side, which is what he uses his fish, that cinematic sequence scenes as well, with bosses and things like that. There's an upgrade system, and you do manage the sushi restaurant as well, and that feels like a mini game within itself. But yeah, overall a good storyline and a good game, and yeah, pretty keen to see this one.
Good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
From the PlayStation.
Yeah.
I thought that it was pretty cool that they added Godzilla in there as well.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Is that a new thing, or was that also on PC before?
Drops in April and Godzilla comes in May, so it's something that's been designed specifically for the PlayStation release.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Godzilla's in the spotlight at the moment when they just released the newest movie, Monarch. Yeah, I can't remember the name, but it's on Apple TV. I haven't watched it, but it's been praised by many people.
Are they talking about Kong? Is it Kong?
Yeah, I think Kong is in there too. But it's not like basically just the two of them. It's more like the two of them fight someone else. I already lost the track of the whole timeline on the story. But I just know that it's out there already.
Yeah.
You know, there's something funny that I saw online. This is a bit of a tangent, but you know when Godzilla walks out of the water, he has to actually be really tall, like the part under the water that you can't see. He probably needs like 3 or 4 Godzillas in terms of like height to be able to walk out of the water like that.
In deep water.
Emerging from the ocean like that.
You saw that meme that they put like different examples of like Eiffel Tower and stuff, like just to put under him, so just pretend to see, oh, this is all the stuff that needs to be under him so he can actually walk like that.
He must be swimming, like going like this or hovering, who knows. He's a magical beast.
So the next game on the list is V Rising. I believe the V stands for vampire. Just a guess, but it's an open world survival game where you play as a vampire, and it includes base building, resource gathering, things you would expect in any modern day survival game. And there's boss fights and things along the way to keep you on track and keep you invested in the game. And I think that this game is actually pretty cool. To be honest, vampires for me not such a interesting topic. But after watching this game, it sort of made the vampire seem not as invincible as probably cinema and other games make vampires seem. It's interesting that they're putting him in a survival game. Things like daylight affect him, and also the hunger for blood. You need to manage your hunger as well. So I think actually for a survival game, being a vampire is actually a pretty good fit. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's not the type of game that I normally play. I've seen some like pictures. Sort of the idea brings back memories of RPG games, like Diablo concept, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm going in the right track, but I think is it like that? Like, is it more like you gather resources, like you also getting better gear and also upgrades on your abilities and all that? Is that kind of the game? Because I don't know much about this game. Yeah.
It's kind of like an open world where you can build your base, and then there's a survival aspect, and then there's like, I guess, the main campaign where you go through and solve the story.
I think that open world survival games are gaining a lot of popularity, and just adding the effects of like hunger and his damage by sunlight just adds that realistic sort of expectation when you're actually playing the game. And having all these things affect you makes it more fun as well, and having to sort of manage it all makes it fun. And building your base, I don't think that's in like Diablo and that, but adding that as well, cool aspect that they've added to it.
I think where Nick was coming from was the perspective is top down as well.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. The way
Yeah.
the camera is placed, yeah, it definitely looks like.
Yeah, like, I was trying to probably point out that because for me that I don't normally play these games, that's kind of like
Oh,
what like it just brings the like basically Diablo vibes in that
Yeah.
term, not necessarily on the gameplay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it looks cool, man.
Yeah.
We-
So the next game, as well as Foam Stars Party, is coming actually free to PlayStation Plus subscribers on Feb the 6th. I believe that this game is more of a competitive shooter, kind of like Splatoon, almost the same sort of vibe, but instead
Yeah.
of like paint, it's foam.
Fun.
Yeah,
It'll be fun. It'll be so much fun.
Yeah.
I could just tell the energy, the lighting, the music, bro. It'll be a fun game to play.
Yeah, I definitely see us like jumping on and having a few games.
It's good that you mentioned Splatoons because I was trying to think about what game it looks very familiar,
Right.
but that's it. You got it.
Yeah, Splatoon is a definitely similar where you have to sort of spray colors and that. And I think in this aspect, it's foam like Towa said. I mean, Owaka, sorry.
Is it? And also, it's coming for free to PS Plus, if I'm not wrong.
That's right. Plus subscribers, no extra cost. So if you do have a PS Plus membership, it just makes sense just to claim it
Yeah,
as soon as
Just-
possible.
download it, try it, and see how it goes. Like it.
What have you got to lose?
Yeah,
Exactly. And then the full game comes out a month later for $30. There's a big saving there.
I think lately, like last year, they released 2 exclusive games like these just for PlayStation, and they were on PS Plus. So hopefully, this is not just the only game they release for free. The full game for free.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because this formula has worked for Microsoft in their Game Pass, where a new game comes out and it's available on their Game Pass straight away. Yeah. But PlayStation has taken another approach where they release the games a year or two after they've been released. And I believe that they have actually had more success in doing it this way as opposed to Microsoft. More people have actually played the game when it comes out later.
Yeah. Like I guess also because there's a lot of critics and gameplay out there. So if you're downloaded, you already know what like how the games looks like. So there's no risk, and you know what you're going for.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think it keeps people excited and looking forward to like what's coming out every month.
Yeah, definitely. The last couple months hasn't been many games that I normally play, but yeah.
All right. So the next one is called Silent Hill: The Short Message. This one seems like a smaller mini game compared to the Silent Hill 2, which is also released. So we'll get to that in a second. But just jumping back to the Silent Hill Short Message, it seems to follow a girl in the Silent Hill world, and she's trying to figure out what's happened, and she looks like she jumps off a building. Like that's how it starts, the trailer. And then she's texting, somebody's like texting her and guiding her through this game, and there's a monster that's chasing her. Apart from that, there isn't too much that I could really divulge from the trailer. Like I couldn't see exactly.
Don't worry, man. This
what's
game
coming
I already
next.
downloaded because it's free, and I'm gonna be posting the gameplay really soon because I'm a big fan of Silent Hill, and I remember playing back in the days with my dad and my friends, and we play like up until like probably 4 a.m. And normally I won't be the one that it's controlling the guy because I was too scared, so I will just lean towards my hey, you play for me. This party is way too scary.
Yeah.
Big difference in between normal Silent Hill games or like the previous ones. They're normally third person, and this time they're doing a first person for some reason. But I'm not complaining. Just gonna give it a go. It definitely might be a short game, and I think it's teasing what comes next. Just like you said, Resident Evil 2, Silent Hill 2, which is gonna be a remake of the previous game.
That's a perfect segue because I didn't have too much notes on Silent Hill 2. They just announced that they were going to be
In development.
remaking it. It's currently in development. And like you said, Nick, it's in the title of the game, Silent Hill: The Short Message. It's going to be a shorter game, but hey,
Yeah.
it's for free as well. So
Yeah,
not much to lose there either.
unexpected because it's a game like the last couple of years we've been pushing, including myself, like to get in just something out there. And it's just like they came with Silent Hill 2 announcement, and then I want you to try what stuff we have on. But I'll say from the pictures that they show from Silent Hill, yeah, I like it, but it feels like it needs a bit of polishing comparing all the games. Like we've seen recently, Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, they got remakes and they look amazing. Like if you compare the previous version, there were pixels, man. Like you could barely see the detail on the previous games, but now it's so much better. And I'm hoping that we get the same Silent Hill, same sort of vibes, but you give me all the graphics and the details that we can get at now.
What was the first Silent Hill 2 released on? What console was it? PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2?
I played on PlayStation 2, if I'm not wrong. But I could be wrong, and I think it was PlayStation 2.
So the graphical jump is going to be quite big compared to the original one.
Yeah, it's just like I think Resident Evil is being raising the bar in terms of remaking. All the remakes look amazing, and the gameplay is also really good, and it follows suit the same style. So as you feel like you're playing the same game with new graphics.
It's interesting to have a comparison like that. The two games that are in the same genre, and is Resident Evil the ones that they've remade? Were they released around the same time? Were they on which generation of consoles were they on?
So all the Resident Evils were released basically the last couple of years, probably in the last 5 years, and they were released PS4, PS5, and most of them they got the PS5 upgrade, and I'll probably say like that's why it looks so awesome. And they're pretty good price. Like you always seeing them on deal and all those sort of things. And I play them all and I like them all.
I'm pretty sure I grabbed Resident Evil 2 on the Game Pass, the PlayStation Game Pass the other day.
Exciting news. I'll be playing the Silent Hill short message pretty soon. Just to give it a go. I just recently I'm about to finish Resident Evil 4.
There you go.
Kausa, the horror game fanatic.
No worries.
All right, jumping into the next one, Judas. Now, this is from the BioShock creator, Kevin Levine. I'm looking forward to it. As soon as I saw the trailer, I instantly has had a big influence on this game and the style. The premise is a vague, disintegrating starship, a desperate escape plan. You're the mysterious and troubled Judas. Your only hope for survival is to make or break alliances with your worst enemies. Will you work together to fix what you broke, or will you leave it to burn? I had to pull that off the website for Judas because the trailer looked good. It had gameplay, but it didn't have much of any context. And literally, I think they're staying purposely tight-lipped on the whole game story and arc, so that when it gets released, it'll be a surprise for everybody. Which personally, I think I like that. A lot of trailers for movies and video games these days, they kind of give a little bit too much, and then you already know what's coming. I think there's a fine balance between showcasing the gameplay, graphics, and things like that, and being able not to give away too much about the story.
Yeah,
a little bit of mystery. So
I never play a BioShock, which is shocking, but I always wanted to play it. I always wanted to play it. I was intrigued by the style of game, and I think I never actually ended up playing because I didn't want to pay the full price, and that's probably the main reason why.
I reckon they have it on the Game Pass, actually, the PlayStation Game Pass. So you can definitely go check it out.
It's in the previous BioShock.
If not, if I'm wrong, then I think I got it on PC. In which case, you may not be able to play it.
There you go.
Yeah, but definitely like the whole style of game has a lot of personality. Like it's not something that you can see, this is a copy from another game, but no, it has like their own style. And you say it straight away, like this reminds me of BioShock. That's why I guess it's so appealing to BioShock fans.
Yeah.
Just
people who are
mechanic-
fans of that of those previous games are gonna just love this one.
Yeah. The crazy combat system is just that's the really cool part about BioShock. What you can do.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of modifications and electricity. You can just play around, I think, with mods, and then it looks crazy. Like I will say, like it's equivalent of Borderlands that also have their own style.
Very distinct style. The thing that I'm just wondering is it in the BioShock world? I wonder if it's in the same universe.
That's a really good question. Like, would that be an extension?
Looking for some answers, but they really don't give much, even on the official website for the game. So I think the teaser that they showed in the showcase actually did its job.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to find, man.
All right, so the next game on the list is Metro Awakening VR. Metro 2033's author's next game, Atomic Heart, coming in 2024. This game is fully VR in one of the best universes, the Metro universes. It combines stealth with combat and like fast-paced action with a little bit of horror as well. Like we were discussing before, Carl, a few jump scares here and there, but it really sort of shows the struggle of a post-apocalyptic world, and also how people are surviving in the subways. And actually, there are mutated animals which are kind of scary, but it's actually the people that live within the subways and the tunnels that become actually more scarier than the actual monsters in the game. Kind of reminds me a bit like The Walking Dead. You know, you sort of get a bit desensitized from the zombies, but the people are actually more crazy and scarier.
The characters that they have underground. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for this. You know, previously playing the previous Metros, I think it'll definitely be awesome where it's set. Just taking it into VR and being there to be able to see all the crazy stuff. Because when these games were released, the concept of it was crazy, and like playing through it, I actually enjoyed it, and being able to visualize it now, you know, something that I think will be so awesome. And you know, like there's a big crafting system for weapons and guns. So yeah, I can't just wait to kill some things in game.
That means that Rexy is gonna get a PS.
Oh, let's hope. Maybe I need to
put it on your vision board, manifest it.
Well, if you get one, I'll go to Brisbane just to test it.
But you're gonna say you're gonna get one as well.
Could be multiplayer, mate.
Yeah, like to be honest, if there were more multiplayer games on VR, I'll probably think it more. It's just the fact that my experience with VR on solo games, I think it's just I haven't fully dived into it. So I feel like if they bring more multiplayer games, I'll probably be down.
Yeah, it's cool.
And there's a fun fact, I think, that Waka said to me before, that the studio that created Metro is actually based in Ukraine, and the game is based in Russia, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So definitely very controversial on the macro aspect of what's happening around the world. But yeah, I just leave it there.
Leave that there.
Talking about co-op in VR, the next game is called Legendary Tales. And in my notes, I just put Skeleton Killing Simulator because that's what was really showcased in the trailer. It's another VR game that focuses probably less on the graphics as compared to Metro. They actually showed Legendary Tales right after Metro VR, which personally, I understand that they wanted to group the VR games together, but going after Metro VR, it would have been a hard spot to fill. These guys, especially with the graphics shown in Legendary Tales, it's probably not up to par with Metro Awakening, but what they did focus on is more about the precision in the combat. You know, they had some previews of a guy stabbing the leg and then also blocking projectiles and being able to deflect them in a certain angle. I think that aspect of this is actually really cool. And they also showed co-op in it as well, which I haven't seen too much in VR.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what is the main complication with like probably the latency. Yeah, there might be a reason why the VR hasn't pushed that much co-op or multiplayer at all. Like I guess probably must be also the fact that you got there's not many users, so it's no reason for developers to push it. I don't know. Like to be honest, it's just one of those things that looks cool, but until you get more games, I'm not considering into buying it.
One thing to note as well, that you're right, it's probably not PlayStation's largest seller right now. I think moving into the future with Meta and Apple Vision that was just released, it's going to become more popular. But one other thing as well is that you're limited in play because you can only use VR for a certain amount of time. I don't know how long it is at the moment. It's probably like 30 to 40 minutes, right? Under an hour. And then you'll have to charge the headset again.
I don't know about the PSVR, but most of the headsets in the market is 2 hours, I think. 2 hours and a half.
That's a
Which
long
is a
time.
long
man.
time.
Yeah.
But when you think about a typical gaming session, you could probably go a bit longer. And if you have to plug it in while you're using VR, that is the biggest immersion breaker, is being tethered to something and having to, control your movement because you're charging your headset.
Yeah. Definitely, I feel like VR itself, it's really groundbreaking tool. Like, but it's just for me, it's just not there. So it becomes part of my gaming routine.
Yeah, it's definitely we're heading towards Ready Player One scenarios, but yeah, at the moment it's just not there. There was also in the trailer there was some nods to a few of the Marvel heroes, Captain America and Thor. There was some weapons.
Yeah, you could see that they did that on purpose.
It was just kind of found it a bit random too, but it's cool.
Yeah, and I guess it's just aiming for everyone's dream to be an adventure.
Yeah, I feel like Legendary Tales is just trying to showcase a lot of the VR capabilities and
what they can sort
features.
of do, and I'm sure if they figure out their market, they can sort of cater to what people like.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, next one was Dragon's Dogma 2. And this one is coming out February 8th, which is not that far away. And just looking at the trailer, this game is beautiful. It was visually stunning. Classic RPG with, a simple gameplay loop. You specialize in something in a certain class, and then you go out and you fight in a party and kill enemies, things like that. But it also had a bit of a twist to it where it looks like you can switch roles on the fly. Like I saw one guy, he was dressed as a mage. He shot a fireball and then he quickly switched and he pulled out a two-handed sword. And I think there was another one where there was a mage and then he switched to an archer. So that's something that's typically not done fluidly in RPGs. Normally you pick a class and that's how you kind of stick to what class you chose. But this one seems to be able to switch between them really fluidly, which is really cool.
Yeah, visually the game looks really good. I'm not a hardcore gamer with Dogma, but I've seen people were super excited, and some other people were like, "This looks like Elden Ring," and the other one said like, "No, because this game came first."
Well, that's actually in my notes. I said this game kind of feels like a Dark Souls game mixed with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the good way to describe it, I guess. It's just because I haven't seen it before, and many people play it before. They were a bit angry that they just put that comment.
There's always going to be people like that. I think the scene where I'm not sure if it was a mage or something jumps on the back of a dragon and just starts stabbing it in the back of the neck. I was just like, man, take my money. I want to be there playing that character.
Right, that dragon.
They know more, right?
Yeah. There's this thing with dragons in
any fantasy game, especially I believe Skyrim really brought that to light, killing dragons and getting their powers and things like that. I reckon any sort of fantasy game, especially when dragons in the title. You
Yeah.
gotta have like dragon fights.
Yeah.
You got to have crazy magic fights, arrows flying, swords flying, everything. It just got to be crazy. Because the persona behind dragons is that they're this crazy big mythical creature that it's sort of indestructible or like unbeatable. But if you are able to kill them, it's amazing, and you are a strong warrior or mage or rogue or a ranger.
Yeah. Just like you say, if you have the title with the name Dragon, it means you gotta give me all. Like it's like
Yeah.
House of Dragons, we were expecting the same thing. And I don't expect less from Dogma.
Just put a big dragon in there.
Put it there straight away like a Pokemon. Let me choose my dragon.
No, it's definitely exciting, and I hopefully we'll be, gonna buy the game and test it out together.
Yeah, one thing I didn't see was whether it was co-op, but I believe that it should be, right, because it's a sort of party.
Seems like
RPG.
there were another players, I think, next to in the gameplay, wasn't it?
I couldn't tell whether they were players.
True.
Either way, it's gonna be a cool game.
All right, next one is one that is looking pretty good. This one is called Rise of Ronin. It's slated for release on 22nd of March, 2024, so it's really just around the corner. And it's set in 19th century Bakumatsu era in Yokohama, one of the first ports to open to foreign countries. So in the actual environment, there is influences from Europe and then also traditional Japan, which is a nice little blend between the two. You can grapple across rooftops and landscapes whilst also using a gliding device called it looks like the Avatar's flying device, the airbender, like it related.
That was invented by Da Vinci. Well, I can't remember the name, but yeah, that was invented by Da Vinci. I don't think he actually tried out. He just created the
blueprint.
schema. Yeah, the blueprint.
Yeah. What's that guy in Marvel? The guy who takes over Captain America?
You got me now.
The Winter Soldier? No,
the other guy, right? Well, now he's Captain America, but
That guy. His flying device looked similar to it as well.
it's very similar. It's just a modern version.
Yeah, he's the guy that fights Ant-Man. He finds Ant-Man when Ant-Man tries to go to the bubble base. Sorry, it's a bit of a tangent, but
anyways, back to Ronin. What are you saying?
the gameplay looks I found it very arcade-like. I think compared to, the obvious comparison is Ghost of Tsushima. And I felt like Ghost of Tsushima, whilst it also was a bit arcadey, the weapons really had a bit of weight to it. When you can do those cutscenes where you can do one-shot kills, things like that. Obviously, bosses and harder things, you couldn't one-shot them. But I noticed from the trailer that Rise of the Ronin had more of an arcadey feel, like, you could hit them a couple of times to samurai so they wouldn't die. Yeah. And you could use things like parries or different combat styles, like sword techniques, things like that, to counter enemies, throw them off balance. And of course, you can use an array of different weapons like spears and really cool guns. You can use guns in this because this is when Japan opened up to the Western world.
Yeah, especially that scene, we were watching them. He was fighting in swords and finishing them with swords. And then, as you said, they had guns, so they had like a musket. And then, so he was sort of using the musket to like parry and stab at the same time while versing, obviously, Japanese warriors. And then the cool thing that me and Owaka saw was that he pulled out a gun and finished him with a pistol, which I was like, what? So it's definitely cool and exciting that they added that sort of, not the modern gun, but like they added guns and just chucked that in there as well.
Yeah. And I think the important factor here is what you said before, the opening of trade lines from Yokohama with European ports. That means this is, I think, from history, every time that countries or nations start like trading just anything, commodities, they also start bringing part of the culture into them. And I think this is the part that they're trying to showcase, is like the merging between the Japanese culture and the Western culture.
Yeah, very timely as well with the release. I just recently finished The Blue-Eyed Samurai on Netflix. Very good anime. But R18. Definitely don't watch that if you are underage.
It's good that you say it.
There you go.
What's that, Mom? I'll give you the birds and the bees talk.
Yeah, but I'm keen. I'm really down to play that one. It has like the Assassin's Creed style, like just the I think the movement reminds me
Yeah.
of a mix of Ghost of Tsushima and Assassin's Creed.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely exciting.
Yeah, so that's Rise of the Ronin. Next one is Until Dawn. This game has been rebuilt and enhanced for PS5. A narrative-driven game. Players assume control of 8 young adults who have to survive on Blackwood Mountain when their lives are threatened. The game features a butterfly effect system in which players must make choices that may change the story. All playable characters can survive or die depending on the choices made. This is kind of like a Goosebumps video game. I don't know if you guys ever read those books where you make sort of choices and then you flick from page to page, and your choices affects the outcome of the game.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty fun game. I played it, and it's also like a horror, and like you make decisions, and it's fun when you play with. I think I played with 2 or 3 people. So like playing it with other people makes it more of a social and a fun aspect of the game.
Played it. I was gonna say, because I played before too. I know that you normally don't play horror games, but you surprised.
Game on my own accords, but I played it with one of my mates, and I was like, oh, this is actually
No, I did play the previous game, and I think it's kind of a bummer if you really like this game, because everyone was expecting a sequel, and they
remastered.
A remaster, and the game still I think it still looks good. It's just, I think they're just trying to get,
or maybe more fun the next one. You never know.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I think I'd give it a go. I haven't played it, so I may give it a go. Is it? How does it work? Do you hold like one controller and you just pass it around when you make the decisions?
Yeah, like I played single player, but I think when you change from character to character, you can
someone else that character throughout the game.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's cool game.
And it has like these cutscenes there. You have to like give you a few seconds to choose one of the options. Like you press any of the options there, and that changed the whole thing. Like I don't know how many options in reality are, but in your mind, it's like you need to replay it if you want to know what the other outcome will be.
Yeah, like multiple endings.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like games that are dynamic like that, and I actually would wish that there would be a few more games that did that sort of style. And you think with the power of AI now, you could generate different endings, and there could be like an unlimited amount of endings based on your choices. I think maybe Baldur's Gate may do something similar based on your choices, but I understand that game is very linear as well. So there is like a certain ending that you can reach.
Yeah. Wow.
It's not the multiverse itself, but I think Gen will do that. Like at some point, you have so many options that there wasn't even planned, but it'll just
it can just do it on the fly. Alrighty, next game that is up and coming, or that was on the state of play, was Death Stranding 2. Look, my notes on this is a weird game. You watch the trailer and it was like nearly 9 minutes, and I came out of it just going like, what the hell was that? It's like hands moving. Yeah, I know. I haven't played the first one, but one thing that this trailer did really well is that it got me interested in the game. I personally wasn't interested in it to begin with, but I think now that I've watched this trailer and it follows the protagonist from the first one, Sam Porter, who is Norman Reedus, the actor from The Walking Dead.
You know his face, man. You know his face, bro. Badass homie. Badass.
And it just follows his journey to save the world from the plague by otherworldly enemies and obstacles, things like that. From what I know about the first one, which I am going to go back and play now, is that the first one was more of a game where you deliver things from point A to point B, which is interesting. But the reason why I didn't play it at the beginning is because I didn't find it interesting enough to hook me. It's for free on the PlayStation Plus subscription as well. But I think that after watching this trailer, it was very cinematic. There were some really cool scenes in there. They had some really interesting character design as well. And I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to give this one a shot.
Yeah, you're right. Like You know, you said exactly what I was thinking. Like when I watched the first game, it was like, this is super weird. It's not a game that I might play. Then it came out in PS Plus, and I said, "Ooh, I might give it a go." And then I had so many other games that I said, no, it's not priority." And now that the sequel came out, it was like, okay, they're trying to do something, right? So they're building up a universe. And I respect the fact that it's weird, but they have their own style, and I like it. I started liking now that I've seen the trailer, the second trailer. So I might give it a go too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not co-op, is it? It's single player, right?
No, single player, yeah. And
I think
the graphics, like on the cinematics, were amazing.
Yeah, just the way that they portrayed the trailer and that would definitely make me myself do the same thing and play the first one. So hopefully you see us all. If I have time,
so
it looks like it's consuming, but it does look good though. And if it's able to convince people to play the first one, then the second one should be awesome as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in the story now. I would play it for that. I probably put it on normal or easy difficulty just to try and
just to get
the story, the narrative
games.
Yeah, put it on easy for people that don't have a lot of time. Just play through the game and get it done. And a lot of the references in the trailer as well makes you be like, oh, who's that, or who's Lou, and like I think Lou was it the baby that or something, like you see a little thing and you're like, oh man, I want to know who that is. Yeah,
I was really confused by the brother who had the guitar. That was kind of weird, but it also intrigued me as well. Like that's such an interesting character design. I wanted to go back and find out who he was. I assume that you defeat him in the first one. Although I don't know how you defeat him when you're just delivering packages. The second one, they sort of allude to like you using weapons in the second one.
Yeah, like to be honest, like all the footage that I seen online, it's always the guy with these big packages and his back
arm thing and the baby like here.
I was just gonna say I watched one of those videos that it was like this is what 1,000 hours in Death Stranding looked like, and to be honest, it didn't really impress me, but I didn't know what was going on either.
Yeah. So you gotta have to play it to be impressed, like any game, I guess.
I read through the comments and everybody was like, wow, that's really amazing. And then, but yeah, I just was like, he's just walking around and jumping. Like, that's what 1,000 hours will get me.
Yeah. Come on, man. I want a fancy car.
Yeah. But I guess that's sort of like it's definitely a change. It's a different pace. It's not the regular game that you get, especially from a AAA studio like Kojima.
Well, they always characterize to doing like things differently. So I guess they just keep doing what they do the best. So
yeah, well, that's a great segue into the final part of the state of play. The founder Hideo Kojima announced with the head of PlayStation that they are going to be, or they're planning after Death Stranding 2 is completed, a brand new IP which focuses on stealth, and it looks like they want to go even further into video game storytelling, and they want it to look and feel like a video game, but also like a movie in terms of look, story, theme, cast, acting, fashion, and sound. And at the end of that little trailer that they had, they zoomed out and then it looked like they were at Columbia Studios, which was, I believe, purposely done to show that they are actually on a movie set filming this.
That's a hook, man. Oh.
Sorry, just one other thing to mention as well is this will be coming up to Hideo Kojima's 40-year-long career in the gaming industry. He believes that this will be a culmination of all of his work.
That's a veteran, right? That is a veteran, grandmaster veteran.
Yeah.
All right. Like I remember seeing the Columbia footage when the drone zooms out, but I didn't put that together. Now that you said it, it makes more sense.
Yeah. Especially how he kept mentioning that he wants to break the barrier between video games and film.
Oh.
Definitely exciting and all for it.
Challenging, but I think he's up for the challenge.
Mate, a PlayStation or Sony backing them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You have the big boys on board.
Those are the games that stood out to us. Now, I think this next segment, what we'll just do is we'll just go around the around the virtual room and then just say which games that we're looking forward to the most. Nick, do you want to start? Kausa?
Know me, you already know my picks, and they're all the horror games that are coming. Like, technically, that fan of horror games. So I'll be playing Silent Hill. I'll be playing what was the other one?
Silent Hill, then a short message. The Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2, which is which we don't know exactly when it's coming up. Yeah, I'm thinking about playing Metro because of the fact that you said it was a bit of a horror action game, but it now got me intrigued, so might give it a go. The horror games are always going to be my picks, but I'm happy to explore now. Let's say Death Strand be on top of the story.
One thing with Metro is that it's kind of like Assassin's Creed in the sense where it's action, but there's also the opportunity to go stealth. So that also adds to the pressure in the horror. If you play it like a stealth game, it definitely makes it more enjoyable.
So, horror for me. That's it.
All right, I'll go next then. I'm excited for multiplayer games like Helldivers 2. Also, Dogma 2, if it's multiplayer or if it's single player, I'm excited for that as well. I also love Japanese culture, so I'm super excited for Ronin.
Yeah.
Like, I love playing games like that and seeing where it goes. And obviously, Metro. If I can afford to get the VR, then I'll jump on the Metro VR. But, put it on my wish list. But yeah, definitely. And I don't know if I have the time to play Death Stranding too, but I'll definitely, if I have the opportunity, I'll definitely jump on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some of the
good choices.
Yeah.
I think about myself personally, I'll be looking at playing Foam Style when it comes out. I mean, it drops in like a couple of days. Online multiplayer, and it's free. I'm going to give it a shot, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Definitely Dragon Dogma 2. That one also comes out very soon as well. This is probably one of the coolest things about this state of play is that you have games that are releasing like really soon. And then you have a few that are like, down the track in the pipeline. So it kind of gets you excited for stuff coming out right now. And then you also know that you got a little bit of like a light at the end of the tunnel, something, the carrot, so to speak, to, kind of something to look forward to.
Keep you bigger ones are released or stuff like that.
But yeah, probably no surprise here. Rise of the Ronin is another one of the top games that I would like to play. And then also Death Stranding 2. I'm going to give it a go. I really hope I like it. It's definitely out of like my comfort zone, out of the box for me. But yeah, going to give it a go. Got a bit of time there. I believe Death Stranding 2 comes out in 2025. So
yeah,
still a bit of time.
Yeah, it's no rush. No wuckers.
No wuckers.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Boys on the Mic. Today we covered State of Play brought to you by Sony. We talked about a lot of highlights and a lot of games that we're excited for, from Dogma 2 to The Rise of Ronin, Silent Hill, and Death Stranding 2. If you guys want to find out more about what we talked about, tune into the episode. Like and subscribe to our different channels. And yeah, thank you so much.